Taking control of your time is one of the most effective methods to become more productive. Regrettably, time is not something you can control. The passage of time is predetermined. We all have the same 24-hour day, and we can't change it. You won't be able to borrow a few hours from tomorrow and use them today. This indicates that instead of trying to manage time, we should focus on managing our activities. That's the only option we have. So, the question is, what will you do with the 24 hours each day that you have? Starting from that point gives you a significant edge because you are in command. You have complete control over what you do with the time you have. There are a variety of strategies to organize your activities so that you can focus on what's important. Here are 7 time management techniques that will assist you. 1. Time blocking. Time blocking is a time management technique in which you set off time on your schedule to complete focused tasks. It's another great approach to keep track of the tasks you have to do every day. Let me illustrate this with an example from my own system. Every week, I write a blog post, script a podcast, and prepare and record 2 to 3 YouTube videos. I can only ensure that I have time for these tasks if I schedule them in my calendar. So, on Monday morning, I've blocked off 2 hours on my calendar to write my blog entry. On Tuesday mornings, I have a 2-hour block for writing my podcast script, and on Friday mornings, I have a 3-hour window for recording my YouTube videos. Time blocking allows you to see exactly how much time you have available to do the tasks that are important to you. You will only be able to complete the important work if you have the time to do it. That's why it's so effective. To ensure that time blocking works, each time block must be treated as a confirmed appointment. If you don't, you won't respect the time you've set aside, and the procedure of blocking time out will be rendered useless. 2. Pomodoro Technique. The Pomodoro Technique was developed by Francesco Cirillo in 1975. He created it for himself as a method of managing his daily workload. It's based on the premise that we can only concentrate for about 25 minutes at a time before our attention begins to wander. The Pomodoro Technique is based on this idea. If you can get your mind to focus for just 25 minutes, then you can be productive for 4 hours. However, you should keep an eye on your progress by using the Pomodoro timer. To get the best from the Pomodoro Technique, you need to treat it like a confirmed appointment on your calendar. It's important to treat it like an appointment because if you don't, you will be in danger of putting off doing the work you have set out to do. The Pomodoro Technique involves setting up a 25-minute time block. When the time block ends, you can take a break and do something else. But if you don't have any other work to do, you need to return to your task for another 25 minutes. That's what the technique is all about. The key is to set yourself a strict deadline. 3. The Ivy Lee Method. This is possibly the most effective time management and productivity strategy you can employ. Ivy Lee created the Ivy Lee approach when Charles M. Schwab, chairman and CEO of Bethlehem Steel, requested him to come up with a means to increase the productivity of his senior managers in 1918. Ivy Lee instructed each manager to write down the 6 most critical tasks they must complete the following day in order of importance on a sheet of paper and place it on their desk the next day. When they came the next morning, they immediately got to work on the first assignment, ticked it off their list, and moved on to the next. If you are unable to accomplish all 6, the unfinished chores should be carried over to the next day, and the procedure should be repeated with a new set of 6 jobs. The Ivy Lee method helps you focus on the important things in life. You won't include low-value chores on your list because you only have 6 options. This is an easy approach to stay focused on vital things nowadays, with all of the digital tools accessible. To type up your 6-item list, you can use a calendar, a notes app, or a dedicated task organizer. 4. 2+8 prioritization method. The 2+8 prioritization method, like the Ivy Lee method, requires you to choose 2 must-do items and 8 other tasks to perform the following day. The 2 must-do tasks must be completed regardless of the circumstances. You will do everything you can to finish the remaining 8 chores, but it will not be the end of the world if you are unable to do so. The 2+8 prioritization method is designed to help you focus your attention on the most important things. This is why, the day before, you decide what has to be added to your to-do list. This way, when you wake up in the morning, you know exactly what needs to be done and don't lose time deciding what to do. All you need is 10 minutes before you end the day to go through your to-do list and decide on your priorities for the next day depending on your schedule and where you'll be. 5. Pareto Principle. This isn't so much a time management technique as it is an observation that can assist you in focusing on the things that provide the most important good outcomes. According to the Pareto Principle, for many outcomes, around 80% of the consequences arise from 20% of the causes, the essential few. When it comes to time management and productivity, this involves determining which chores will provide you with 80% of your outcomes first. If you're a writer, for example, spending time in front of your computer composing will contribute proportionately more to the finished article or book than researching writing apps and tools. In business, being in front of your customer, or prospect, has a considerably greater impact on your sales performance than devising a sales strategy or compiling a list of potential prospects. While tasks that provide 20% of your outcomes have their place, you should not allow them to consume the majority of your time. Salespeople in staff meetings, instructors drafting attendance reports, and business owners handling basic administration are all examples of this. The 2+8 prioritization method, described above, is based on the Pareto Principle. 6. Net, no extra time. Net is a bit of a gamble. However, Tony Robbins, one of the world's most successful business trainers, believes otherwise. 3. Net works because we lose a lot of time each day waiting in lines or for things to happen. It urges you to use this time to get some work done. For example, while waiting for a meeting to begin, you can react to emails or go through your inbox. You may respond to some of your Slack or Microsoft Teams messages, or you could look into some suggestions that need to be looked into. Our mobile phones have enabled us to perform many tasks that previously required us to be in a fixed location. When I'm waiting for a Zoom call to start, I use Net. I'm already at my computer, and while I wait for the meeting to start, I'll catch up on emails, messages, and any other basic administrative tasks that need to be completed. It's amazing how much of this job you can complete in only 5 minutes. 7. Eisenhower Matrix. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the previous U.S. president, is linked to the Eisenhower Matrix. This style of time management is more about prioritizing your job than it is about controlling time. There are 4 quadrants in the matrix. Quadrant 1, important and urgent. Quadrant 2, important and not urgent. Quadrant 3, not important and urgent. Quadrant 4, not important and not urgent. The goal is to stay as far away from quadrants 3 and 4 as possible and spend as much time as possible in quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 will assist you in better managing your time and reducing chores that fall within Quadrant 1. Quadrant 2 tasks are concerned with maintaining one's health, anticipating future issues, and making plans. Quadrant 1 chores are those that are occurring right now and require your immediate attention. You can't escape all 4 quadrants tasks. For example, many activities in Quadrant 4 will be tied to rest and leisure time, but too much of that will prevent you from accomplishing anything significant. All of these approaches are straightforward and simple to implement. You don't need any special software or tools to do this. Your calendar or a notes app, for example, will do just fine. They have also been proven to work. If you are looking for a simple way to boost your productivity and time management skills, then any of these 7 methods of time management will give you tremendous results.